with a little more perspective.
To understand the threshold approaching the Brooklyn Nets now, nearing a return to the Eastern Conference playoffs for the first time in 4 years, go back to draft night in 2013. In one of the most crippling trades in recent league history, Brooklyn surrendered 3 first-round picks and an additional pick swap with Boston for declining greats Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. The Celtics accelerated into championship contention, leveraging that deal into stars Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown.
What are those?
Star sheet or game?
No, those are clips.
In 2016, the Nets hired Sean Marks as general manager, luring him from the Spurs dynasty. His mandate was daunting: overhaul a broken organization. He started with a new coach, Kenny Atkinson, a longtime NBA assistant with a ferocious intensity and a penchant for player development.
I think the biggest thing about this was the challenge, and that stood out to me. And challenge to do it in a great market like this. You know, can it be done? You know, I like to have that chip on my shoulder, like most of the people in here. They have something to prove.
What was a standard that you wanted to set for the players from the very beginning?
First of all, bringing in high character guys, and because we knew in the beginning it was going to be tough. There was going to be, a lot of losing involved. So bringing in the top level guys, not shortcutting it from the beginning.
I think the identity obviously takes after Kenny being number one. You know, he's the first, line of fire. You know, he's going to compete, and the players have taken after him.
Marks was both bold and innovative in reshaping the roster, using the Nets' salary cap space to acquire expensive contracts if teams were willing to attach a young player or a first-round pick to the deal. The Lakers gave up on D'Angelo Russell, once the number 2 overall pick. 2 young guards, Spencer Dinwiddie and Joe Harris, both already traded and waived and demoted to the G League. Karis LeVert had 2 college seasons end with foot surgery, and still the Nets traded into the first round to select him.
We've had to take a look at, other players that may not have fit in certain places, but again, for whatever reason, we think, they fit here.
With their infrastructure and geography, the Nets are poised to be a franchise of intrigue for star free agents.
With much more on the Nets, let's bring in Jalen Rose here on SportsCenter. And Jalen, considering what we saw in Boston with Kyrie and a young team, why should Nets fans feel things will be different with Kyrie and this Brooklyn team next season?
Well, it's going to be a lot different. Number one, it's his 3rd stop. And as an all-NBA caliber player, at some point you don't want to look back at the journey, and each time you left or things didn't go your way, you seem to be unhappy or disgruntled. Also for Kyrie Irving, growing up near where the Nets played as a youth, I think he understands, as well as the Nets, that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's not going to be a train. It's going to be Kevin Durant. So this is a freestyle year. Between the legs, behind the back, what can I do to get the oohs and ahs from the crowd? Can we be a top 4 team in the East? They don't have high expectations without KD. So I think he's going to fit right in. I think he's going to play terrific basketball. And again, you have to have Kyrie in order to lure KD. I think it was the other way around before KD got injured.
A season of freedom without the pressure, and then we'll see what happens, of course, in 2021. Now, last week, Woj reported that the Rockets were looking to acquire Jimmy Butler in a sign and trade with Philly. Butler's now with the Heat. How do you view the Rockets right now in the West?
I don't think they should be in panic mode because, as their GM Daryl Morey said, they have a chance to bring back their entire starting 5. And with the Golden State Warriors losing KD, with Clay going to be out for a portion of the year, I think it's now wide open. So Anthony Davis goes to join LeBron James with the Lakers. We'll see what happens with Kawhi Leonard. Is he going to one of the Los Angeles teams? Denver was a number 2 seed. Michael Carter Jr. is going to be a wild card. I love what Utah did in this offseason. Nobody's talking much about the Jazz. But anytime you add Conley to go with Bogdanovich, you already have Spider Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. It's going to be great theater as always in the West. But for the Rockets, it's not a time to panic. Just be patient and let things play themselves out.
I'm with you with the Jazz being underrated, just like Lennon on SportsCenter. Jalen Rose.
Just trying to follow your lead.
Of course, the big name still yet to fall in the NBA free agency world is Kawhi Leonard. Adrian Wojnarowski's been reporting for quite some time. The three teams are really in the mix. Of course, Toronto, where he led them to a championship, and the two teams in Los Angeles, not far from where he grew up, the Lakers and the Clippers. The Raptors, though, are expected to get the last meeting with Kawhi. Then it's just a matter of where he wants to play. Stephen A. Smith joins us now here on SportsCenter. You know, Steve, with so many other big names already making their decisions on where they want to go with their free agency, Kawhi Leonard still taking his time. What's the latest that you're hearing about his intentions with this process?
Well, you're hearing from the Lakers side that they've got a better shot than the Clippers. You're hearing from the Clippers side that they've got a better shot from the Lakers. Kawhi's side, nobody knows because Kawhi doesn't talk. He's going to make his decision when he damn well feels like it, and that's really the situation. He's earned it. Just a year ago, you had people questioning his integrity. He had played all but nine. He had played 9 games essentially. His injury was being questioned, the severity of it. By San Antonio Spurs teammates and the like. And so there's a lot that he endured. Comes back on the court after getting traded to the Toronto Raptors. By the way, he had told the San Antonio Spurs he'd wanted to go to the Los Angeles Lakers, and Popovich in turn traded him to the Toronto Raptors. And still he goes to Toronto. He guides them to the first championship in franchise history and the country's history. And as a result, he's sitting on a throne right now, free to take his time and do whatever he wants to do, whenever he wants to do it, because where the Lakers are and where the Clippers are and where the Toronto Raptors are, all three teams have no choice but to wait to see what Kawhi Leonard wants to do. It's that simple.
Well, you mentioned the Lakers, and they went to quite a bit of trouble to clear enough cap space in order to be able to sign Kawhi. So let's play what if. If they don't get him, what do they do?
Well, right now, you would think that, listen, they'll build the rest of the team around it, but I'll tell you, it's a tough sell for them right now. You're going to hear names like J.R. Smith and other guys. That's certainly not what you had anticipated or hoped for. You know, you got to remember, when they created that cap space, Kawhi was option number 1. Kyrie Irving was option number 2. Option number 3 was going to be D'Angelo Russell because he was going to be released and as a result being an unrestricted free agent, free to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. And those were their top 3 plans of action. But you know that Kawhi hasn't made his decision yet. Kyrie is already committed to Brooklyn. In the case of D'Angelo Russell, the trade has been worked out where he's going to end up being a Golden State Warrior for $117 million. So nobody knows what the hell is going on right now. But you do know this. They'll have 2 of the top 5 players in basketball, and that should be enough to make considerably more noise than they've made over the last 6 years.
Stephen A. Smith.